one of the tips that really stood out to me, I think that you had it in your book, and it was something that I also have been recommending to students is, for example, like cutting out the fluff in a stimulus, like the part that's like bounded between two commas, as like one way that you could like chop out the filler and then focus on the content that really matters. What are some biggest tips for helping students navigate that dense text?
Okay, so this is my jam.
Awesome.
So what you're referring to is a strategy I call middle out in cluster sentences. And so a cluster sentence is any sentence that is just really long, complicated, has lots of commas and sometimes not commas in it, that it just makes it very difficult to understand. And what you can do when you encounter a cluster sentence is not try to read it fast. Try to read it well. Because if you try and read it fast, you will read it not at all. You will have to read it about a bazillion times over and over again, getting 2% every time. And then, or you'll just glaze over it, not do anything. And so in terms of that middle out strategy, what I'm talking about is approaching sentences with lots of commas in terms of the comma pairs, that anytime you see two commas in a sentence, the thing between the commas is either the least important or the most important part of the sentence. And so what you can do is just evaluate the stuff that's between the commas and say, okay, is this a complete thought by itself? If it is, the stuff on the other side is probably optional. If it's not, the stuff on the other side that are broken up is actually the core of the sentence and where the complete thought is. You just have to put those two pieces together. And so that can really help with understanding those sentences, especially when they have the noun and the verb really separated. A lot of times people can have trouble remembering what that noun was in the beginning of the sentence even at all. And so by being able to filter out that middle, still remember what it said. Like it might have important information in it, but being able to separate it conceptually and be able to put those two things together is so, so important. Like, and then once you take the second to actually do it, you'll be surprised how fast you can actually do that. Like, how do I read faster? Read better. That's how you read faster. Yeah. Stop trying to read fast and start trying to read well. That's how you'll be able to do it.
I love it. I love it. You've really systematized this approach to either, cut out that part or focus on that part. But I think one of the things that makes the LSAT so difficult is that it's like a mini version of legalese almost. Like if I think about like what a contract looks like, maybe you've like looked at like an apartment lease or something, and there's so much text, and the sentences are run-ons that go on for like 3 pages, and a logical reasoning stimulus can be like that. But if you use this middle out strategy, chop out the parts that don't matter and focus on the core, you can find the noun and the verb and kind of join them back together so you can actually make sense out of the argument and remember what it's saying. So that's a great strategy that I think students could pretty easily implement and get a big bang for their buck with pretty short time investment.